I inherited my neighbor's house and all her money, and now her granddaughters who never visited her want to take it from me. 6 years ago, I moved to a new country for this huge job promotion. I was making way more money than before, and finally found this perfect house in a really nice neighborhood. During my first week there, this sweet old lady from next door showed up with homemade chocolate chip cookies. Her name was Margaret, and she was 90 years old, but still got around pretty well. At first, I barely had time to talk to her because I was working crazy hours trying to prove I deserved my promotion. But Margaret would still show up every few weeks just wanting some company. After about a year, things at work calmed down and I started spending more time with her. She told me about her husband who died 20 years ago and left her the house. But whenever I asked about her family, she'd get this sad look on her face and changed the subject. Eventually, she opened up to me. She had 3 granddaughters who lived only 20 minutes away, but she hadn't seen them in 13 years. Not once. They never called, never visited, nothing. I could tell it was killing her inside because all she wanted was to see them sometimes. We got really close over the years. I'd help her with her garden on weekends. She taught me how to make this amazing lasagna that her grandmother showed her. She reminded me so much of my own grandma who died when I was young. I even started inviting Margaret to spend holidays with my family because it hurt too much seeing her alone. The thing that made me so angry was that in those entire 6 years, her granddaughters never showed up. Not for Christmas, not for her birthday, not even just to check on her. It was like she didn't exist to them. 3 months ago, Margaret died. She was 96 and had some health problems that got worse. At her funeral, I kept looking at the door, thinking maybe her granddaughters would show up, but they didn't. It was just me, some of her old friends from church, and that was it. Her own family couldn't even be bothered to come say goodbye. 2 weeks later, I got this call from her lawyer asking me to come in. I was confused because why would Margaret's lawyer need to talk to me? When I got there, he told me Margaret had left me everything in her will. Her house, all her savings, everything. I literally sat there in shock. The lawyer showed me her will, and she'd written this note saying she thought long and hard about what to do with her things. She wanted me to have her house, so when I had kids someday, they'd have a good home, and she wanted the money donated to this cancer research charity that meant a lot to her. The money wasn't some small amount either. It was enough that I could easily live off it for years, and her house was worth a fortune because our neighborhood had gotten really expensive. Suddenly, her granddaughters remembered Margaret existed. The lawyer told me all 3 of them showed up at his office the next day demanding to know why they weren't in the will. They immediately tried to contest it, claiming I must have manipulated Margaret or tricked her somehow. They said she obviously wasn't thinking clearly when she changed her will, but here's what destroyed their case. Margaret had changed her will 2 years ago, not right before she died. The lawyer had documented everything perfectly. She was completely healthy mentally when she made the changes. There was even a video of her explaining her decision. The granddaughters lost their case, but that only made them angrier. They started calling me constantly, leaving these nasty messages saying I stole their inheritance. One of them even showed up at my house screaming at me. That's when I completely lost it. I told them exactly what I thought. I said, "Where were you for the past 13 years? Where were you when Margaret was sitting alone on Christmas? Where were you at her funeral?" They tried saying they were busy with their lives. I just laughed. Too busy to call your grandma once in 13 years. Too busy to drive 20 minutes to see her. The real reason they're so mad is because Margaret had way more money than they thought. The house alone is worth over $1 million because our neighborhood is one of the best in the city. Plus, she had all this money saved up that her husband left her. They keep texting me saying I should at least split it with them, that it's the right thing to do. But Margaret made her choice for a reason. She had years to change her mind, and she never did. I'm keeping the house just like she wanted. And next month, I'm writing a check to that cancer charity for every single dollar she left me, because that's what Margaret asked me to do. And she's the only one who deserves to have her wishes respected.